Hi there, welcome to Kneppy Invest and welcome to Belated 11th of November ASX Daily Rundown video 2025. I'm recording this the following day on the 12th of November. Time is currently 8:58 a.m. First time I've ever done this, a belated ASX Daily Rundown video. Whole reason behind that, I was told there was going to be a power outage in the afternoon of my house because something to do with solar panels. And so I decided to drive to Brisbane, which is about a 6.5 hour drive. And I thought what I'll do down there is have a look at my property, meet my builder of the house. It's going along really well. And then I'll pick up the dogs, bring them back here for a 1 month holiday for them. So eventually arrived back here at 11:30 p.m. Got to bed about midnight. So I did not have a look at anything apart from two things that I do know happened on the ASX yesterday. CBA share price dropped a fair bit. It's like 6.66%. I know that because of a few podcasts which mention that. And Coronado, I do know Coronado coal, whatever it's called these days, share price dropped about 30%. I was trading that. That was an instant sell. As soon as I saw that, instant sell. Instant sell. That's my rules. Instant sell. Okay, so what I'm going to do in today's video. Oh, by the way, the house is losing power again. My parents' house is losing power again because what happened yesterday with the solar panel guys is one of them got injured. Yes, he needed 8 stitches in his leg. So they're coming back this afternoon to finish a job. So hopefully it won't be too long. I've been told it won't be too long. So anyway, so the whole reason I went down to Brisbane yesterday was not to be here for 8 power outages. I just feel, I don't know, it's weird. But that's the whole reason I went to Brisbane yesterday. But I don't regret it because, yeah, it was a long day, 12 hours. Actually, it would have been 13 and a half hours of driving. Okay, so what I'm going to do in today's video is I'm going to go have a look at all the announcements released yesterday. So I've already brought up the CommSec announcement page here, and I can see CBA is the first company releasing announcements. Megaport trading halt. So I'm just going to see what other interesting announcements were released yesterday. I do have my notebook next to me. I write the T codes down. We'll have a look at why CBA share price dropped. Now, I did actually listen to a couple of podcasts. Funny enough, one of those podcasts was glowing about CBA's results. That was the Money Cafe with Alan Kohler, although Alan Kohler was on that. If you just listen to that podcast, you'd think CBA share price rose 50% or something like that. They were gushing about CBA. But yeah, the trading update, 6 pages long. We'll have a look at that. And then we'll go through all the other announcements. And then we'll have a quick look at the top gainers and top losers. No top 5 stocks today because I don't know. Anyway, so a sort of abbreviated ASX Daily Rundown video. Okay, so first thing I'll do is have a look at CBA trading update. Now, I am cheating a bit here. I did listen to one podcast who said, well, the reasoning they said share price was down because these results actually met expectations. There was a few other things in Capital Brief. I did have a look at Capital Brief article. Everything was in line with expectations. Costs were a little bit higher than expected, but I think it was a Q&A, whatever it's called, market. Well, I forget what the podcast is called. I can tell you right now. I'll have a look at my podcast list. Well, not the podcast list because I've listened to them all. It's called For Fear and Greed. Fear and Greed. So the podcast I listened to yesterday was Q&A. That's why I was thinking Q&A. Was CBA's trouble inevitable? Yes, so that was actually a pretty good podcast. The other one, Money Cafe, I just couldn't believe how gushing they were. Anyway, so the reason the Q&A gave for the decrease was there was a mention of increased competitiveness or something. See if we can find that here. So this is from the CEO, Matt Common. If you do have a look at this, he's talking about cost of living pressures, challenging relief from lower interest rates. There's a chance we might see increasing interest rates next year, particularly with the inflation. Cost pressures remain and global issues continue to create uncertainty. We recognize cost of living pressures remain a challenge for many despite escalating geopolitical and macroeconomic uncertainty. We are optimistic on the outlook for the country. We are closely watching the increased competitive intensity and implications across the financial system. I think that's a really pertinent point because we are seeing a significant increase in competitiveness that the banks have to face, particularly for big banks. Previously, their only competitors were each other. Now we're seeing increased competition out there. So that's interesting that Matt Common has mentioned this. Now, it's probably good that he's mentioned this because their eyes are on it. If they were ignoring the increased competitive intensity, that might be something negative moving forward. Now, in terms of numbers, with a P ratio of, was it 28, 29, you'd expect much better numbers than this. Now, this is just quality numbers. And I think you can't really gauge companies' performance by just one quarter. You have to get like 2 or 3 quarters to have a better idea how a company's performing. But this is to be expected, not much growth. There's not much growth in these companies, in these banks. That is why P ratio of 29 or 28 or 29 is crazy for CBA, particularly when you look at the history of the P ratio for this company. Very rarely does it get above 18. So having it at 28, 29 is just insanity. It is the bubble on the ASX right now, the banks, particularly CBA. Okay, so no surprise, the share price, well, I don't know. Actually, this time yesterday, I would have said there's no way the share price will drop 6.66%. Okay, so the chart for CBA is starting, I think it's starting to turn over. Now, the share price drops to below 160. I would say we are seeing potentially a shift in sentiment and a shift in trend. And that would be sort of more of a confirmation because that would be a lower price than the last few lows. So I think we can definitely see signs of a shift in trend and sentiment for CBA. Okay, so that's CBA down 6.66%. Probably would have been the stock of the day yesterday, although Coronado Global Resources would have gave it a run for its money. What else? So Megaport in a trading halt. Why is capital raising? Do they need capital? Maybe it's for another reason. Material corporate acquisition and associated equity raising. There you go. Okay, Activeport ATV unlocks 112 billion Middle East AI market. For me, this is a nothing announcement. This is just because even though they've given a number, it's not anything to do with the company. This is just total addressable market, and the chances of them getting much in this particular market is fairly low. This is a small company. I'm just wondering how the share price. By the way, I had a look at this company's most recent Appendix 4C. Nothing to write home about just yet. And the chart, really nice increase in volume since August. Nice little pullback. Share price actually did pop up yesterday, up 12.5%, but not a lot of volume. So not a lot of interest in this announcement, which I sort of makes sense. Oh, by the way, Bendigo Bank did release results. I did actually see that as well. Who was it? It was another. It could have been another Fear and Greed. They did actually mention CBA and Bendigo share price dropped. So we'll have a look at. I just wanted to see how much Bendigo dropped by. What else do we have here? So I'm just skipping all the mining because unless it really sticks out in the title, I just skip all these. Capricorn Metals, yep. OFX Group, half-year results. What I like to do in these sort of situations is just have a look at the media release, have a very quick gauge. Okay, here we go. I like these little tables. A lot of negative numbers here. But I think this was to be expected. Share price has been hammered recently. They mentioned here OFX continues to generate healthy cash flows, 16.5 million in operating cash flow. I prefer free cash flow, to be honest with you, but that's them. And outlook. Okay. Now anticipates total capital expenditure to be 20 to 21 million, down from approximately 2 million. That makes no sense. Because 25 million is not down, it's higher than 2 million. Maybe they meant down approximately 2 million. Maybe that from shouldn't be there. Okay. Now, I don't know anything about, well, I do know a little bit about OFX Group, but the share price has been hammered. How did the market react to this? That's the most important thing because I had no expectations at all. Let's see. And you can see this chart is horrendous. And share price went up down 1.75%. I can barely see the movement. Share price has, in the past year, the share price has dropped by 75, but no, wait there, 66%. It's gone down 2/3. I've traded this in the past. In fact, do I still have it? There he is. I traded this in 2021 for a short period. So for me, this is more of a trading stock. And at this point in time, nothing. There's no reason for me to trade this at all. Okay, so that's OFX Group. And here is Coronado Global. Share price down about 30% yesterday. I have been trading this, got out when I saw this. So that's the only thing I did yesterday is I had a look to see how my portfolio was performing. I saw the share price was down 30%. Automatic sell. Don't care why. Automatic sell. And they released results. Now, first thing I'm going to do, the results are going to be horrendous, which is to be expected. What I'm going to do in these sort of situations, what I like to do is have a look at the going concern. Here it is for these type of companies, because that was a concern of mine, going concern. And I actually did have a look at this, so I'm cheating a bit here. Okay, so going concern. And you get a lot of really useful information there. So companies' earnings and cash flows from operating activities have been significantly impacted by the continued subdued performance of met coal market, which has led to low realised prices for the coal of company sells, losses, etc. S&P downgraded the credit rating, and there was, this is fairly long, by the way, and there was, I suppose, concerns. There are concerns. Here it is. These condensed consolidated financial statements have been on no, that's not it. I'm trying to find where I read it. There is a going concern, but this is fairly long, so I won't be able to find it. So as soon as I read this, I went, yep, okay. I sort of can understand why the share price is down. Down 30%. Now, the problem with these sort of companies is they're price takers. You could have the greatest management in history in charge of Coronado Global, but if met coal prices plunge, nothing they can do really. Anyway, so I thought this was, or had the look of turning positive. So I got in at 20 cents, and I got in 20 cents on the 25th of July. So not that long ago. Share price on that day rose 28.21%. I thought things were starting to turn around, but yesterday, I wouldn't necessarily say it was a trend killer because the trend wasn't really positive, but that was an automatic sellout. And to be honest with you, got in at 20, got out at 25, 26 cents. So a nice little 25% gain. So I'm not going to be disappointed with that, but yeah, for me, the share price could go either way. That's the whole reason I get out of these sort of events. I don't know which way the share price is going to go now. And when I say don't know, beforehand, I think there's a greater chance the share price would go up than down. Now, I think there's a chance the share price could halve from here. Share price could go up today, next few days, and that would look, well, I mean, that would be sad for me to get out yesterday, but I just don't know. I just don't have confidence. That's probably the best way to say it. I don't have as much confidence about the share price in these sort of setups. That is why on these sort of days, I just get out. I just don't have the confidence. So it's Coronado. What else? We have OFX Group presentation, Bendigo Bank trading update. So share price dropped, what was it, 8.9%? So cash earnings down 3.2%, interest margins up 3 basis points. That's okay. Growth of is that negative 5.6% analyzed residential lending? It's in brackets. I'm assuming that's negative growth. B&A lending 2.9% growth. Customer deposits negative. It's one of the reasons I do like CBA, and this was mentioned in a few podcasts, is the majority of their lending comes through deposits. Was it 79%? And that's good for a company. Cash earnings are lower this quarter and flat on the. Again, no growth. The banks are not growing. Well, they're not growing at a greater rate than inflation. They're not growth companies. Anyway, so that's Bendigo Bank. Lots of negatives here, but okay. So this would be another case where I'll just wait to see how the market reacted. And the market didn't like it. Share price down 8.8%. 8.6, 8.5. Oh, I was close. This is another case where chart was actually starting to look good, sort of. Definitely see a resistance level here for Bendigo Bank. Oh, that's pretty obvious. You don't know much. You don't have to know much about technical analysis to see there is a bit of a resistance at 1360. It's just see it's struggling at 1360 for over the past year. This would be another case if I was trading this, I would have gotten out yesterday. A solid red candlestick, very bad candlestick. Sort of like the same one we saw back on the 17th of February when they released, was that results? Share price down 15.3%. The share price dropped, then rallied. Anyway, so it's Bendigo Bank. That would have been the top 5. I can tell you right now, CBA would have been top 5. Coronado would have been top 5. Bendigo Bank would have been top 5. Jumbo Interactive market update. This is an interesting one. Oh, Ampol presentation. The reason I'm interested in Ampol is simply because I am trading this right now. So I'm interested to see how the share price went. Up 1.43%. I'll just show you Ampol's chart. It's not the best chart, it's not the greatest chart, but it's definitely one where we have seen a bit of a shift in sentiment and trend over the past 3 or 4 months. Jumbo Interactive was the other one. Just going to have a quick look what the share price did. Down 3.61%. Now, this is an interesting one. They did a market update. I'll just have a quick look. Now, the share price hasn't moved all that much. The outlook has remained unchanged. Sometimes when a company does that, the share price actually rallies. Now, one of the reasons I'm a little bit interested in this one is because I was trading this, then I got out. Then they announced, was it an acquisition or something on the 16th of October, share price up 13.63%. And you can see the share price has been massively volatile since then. So a lot of volatility in Jumbo Interactive. So it looked really positive back in August. Then the share price dropped, and then it rallied, and then it dropped. So massive amount of volatility in Jumbo Interactive. I'm not trading that one. We'll have a look at the top gainers later. Or what else? Trading update. I've already looked at that. Etherstack, trading update and financial 26 guidance. So this one company has had a lot of positive vibes. In fact, Etherstack would have been in my top 5 on a Friday. And another positive announcement from the company. Let's have a look. Cash receipts above 10 million, positive operating cash flow to exceed 2 million for the full year. You don't see a lot of companies release expectations when it comes to operating cash flow, very rarely. Revenue increasing 62%, talking about record order book, financial 26 guidance. They should continue to successfully deliver on contracts, revenue to be between 16.2 and 17.5 million, which is a 60 to 70% growth from this year. That's pretty good growth if they can realize those expectations. AR support and SaaS revenues, CAS revenues. Looks like things are moving in the right direction for this company. So how did the market react? I would be shocked if the share price is down, but I could be wrong. Share price up only 1.33%. Okay, so share price has been on a really good rally lately. Chart is looking pretty good for Etherstack as well. But this would not have made it into my top 5 just because there was not much of a market reaction. But this chart is looking good. I also like the increase in volume as well. What else we got? Oh, Life 360. I don't know if this went up or down. Oh, and Megaport did the equity raising announcement. Okay, so Life 360. We'll have a look at the media release. Oh, I should cheat and see what the share price did first. Should I even bother? Now, I wouldn't be surprised to see the share price rise. Oh, geez. Indicator price down 12.1%. Now, that's still got 43 minutes left of pre-trading, so that's probably just I wouldn't say glitch, but there's probably one big sell that might be pulled, although there's quite a few sells there. Yeah, like this one sell at $38, $38.68, 13,500, and we're not seeing many big buys. So that one big sell could be pulled. It wouldn't be surprised if it's pulled, just manipulation happening. So what happened yesterday? Well, did the share price rally? Oh, no, it went down 5.22%. So the market didn't like this results. Let's just have a quick look. Quarter-on-quarter growth still there. Year-on-year growth still pretty nice. still all looking pretty good. Maybe the market was expecting a little bit more. Maybe operating cash flow. Nice operating cash flow, by the way. Up 26.4 through for the 3 months. Net income, EBITDA of 20.5 million for 3 months, 60.8 million for the 9 months, and earnings guidance. So revenue has been increased. So positive adjusted EBITDA has been increased. So by looking at the increase in expected revenue and adjusted EBITDA, I might have expected maybe the share price to have gone up, but maybe the market was expecting that and was expecting even more of an increase in guidance. Anyway, a lot of volatility, by the way, yesterday. Share price was up a fair bit. So if you have a look at the 1 minute chart, yeah, so share price actually opened up about 4% and then dove. Share price went to a low of 43. So a fair bit of volatility yesterday when it comes to Life 360. Probably the big question would be just the valuation with this company. Share price has gone on a massive run. I traded this, 1 year ago. Right there. That's more than 1 year ago. So I did trade this and now I'm out. Sort of wish I held on a little bit longer. Not sure if Life 360 would have made in the top 5. We'll just have to keep on looking. Megaport, I'm assuming, is this a placement? Okay, so it looks like they did do a placement. Sometimes if they do a placement, share price has already traded. The share price hasn't traded yet. So they have to, what they have to do is, completes placement. That's what I was looking for. So as soon as you see the announcement, when a company's doing capital raising and they announce the completes placement, shares will go back to trading. I won't have a look at this acquisition. I'll have a look at a presentation in my own time. Megaport's chart does look interesting. They don't release Appendix 4Cs anymore, and I found in the past that this company's share price is highly volatile, had been highly volatile when it came to Appendix 4Cs, but because they don't release anymore, we don't get how the company is performing every 3 months. It's now every 6 months. Share price has been an uptrend. Good time probably to raise capital and maybe make an acquisition. How much are they raising? So the placement is 200 million. Are they doing capital raising for shareholders? I can't see it. Anyway, let's move on. Life 360, Megaport. All I'm doing now is just having a look at interesting titled announcements. I'm not seeing much else. Oh, Mayfield Group. This is one I'm interested in. Placement and share purchase plan. Now, typically, I know this because I do hold Mayfield and I knew they went in trading up for a placement. So I expect the share price to have dropped. So raising 30.5 at a share price of $1.90. So just a small discount where the share price was. Now, they're also doing an SPP for shareholders, so I might be able to participate in that. However, it's only for $3 million. I'm really disappointed in that. I wish I'd let shareholders get more of the pie in these sort of situations. So why are they doing it? I don't know. But the thing that surprised me is the share price went up. Share price went up. In fact, the share price went up 18.1%. Okay, so I'm going to have to delve into this a little bit more. There was a broker presentation, that sort of thing. So I haven't looked at this. They're in the right space right now. Use of proceeds, which is what I wanted to see. Balance sheet flexibility for future acquisitions. Okay, so they haven't even announced an acquisition. So the market loves this. Potential acquisition highlights. Okay, so I'm going to go through this in my own time. And I more than likely will participate in the capital raising. And the chart looks, there's so much positive vibes in this company right now. This will also increase liquidity. And I think I mentioned Mayfield Group in the technical update video the other day, how there has been an increase in liquidity. Definitely see that since I've held it, bought it at 78 cents not that long ago, April 2024. So we're talking about 18 months ago, and liquidity has improved significantly. Main reason I bought there was not a trading. Well, I was thinking maybe trading it, but the main reason I bought there was just this company is in the right space. And we've really seen liquidity improve recently. Anyway, so that's Mayfield Group. I'll have a deeper look at this particular announcement. So that was a little bit of a shock to me. I saw the share price up a fair bit. I thought there must have been something alongside the capital raising. I thought maybe there was an acquisition and there was a really good acquisition, but no. Motorcycle Holdings. I'm trading this one as well. So I saw they were a trading hold because I went through a lot of my companies I do trade. This one, a little bit dodgy. Company has identified historical underpayment of vehicle registration duty in each state and the territory in which it conducts business. So this could be a sell when they're back to trading. We'll see how the market reacts. Vection Technologies, another acquisition. Anyway, they just make acquisition after acquisition. Center Group, operating update. I don't really care about that company. Monash IVF, they have a CEO. Let's see if the market liked it. I wonder if they liked it a lot. Let's see. No, not much. DGL Group. Someone had asked me about DGL Group. What I'm thinking about this. Response to ASX Group. I don't know what's happening with DGL right now. So I'll have to go through this and see what's happening. The shares in DGL have not traded for a while. So something weird is going on maybe. So 30th of September. Yeah. Let's have a look to see why they went into trading hold. 1st of October. Oh, they did not lodge their periodic report. Well, okay. Yeah, understandable. So I'll have a look at that later on. Control Bionics integrates with Apple BCI protocol. I wonder if that got the market excited. That sounds like a really exciting announcement. Yep, 60.87%. There you go. That would have been my top 5. 60.87%. Share price was up 15% the previous day. In fact, having a look at how this company has gone the last few weeks, share price has gone up a fair bit, more than doubled. So that's another really interesting announcement. I could just tell just by name dropping Apple. Yeah. By the way, this company does have receipts, but it's not to the point where I am paying much. Well, yeah, it's got 1.7 million. Operating cash flow negative by 706,000, over 1 million without government grants and tax incentives. So it's getting close, but not quite there for me just yet. But the reason I don't get too excited about these announcements is because we just don't know how much the company is going to what's the word? How much the company is going to get out of this particular announcement. I've seen plenty of times when companies name drop. A classic example was a company called OBJ, maybe 2013. This is a classic example in this case. They name dropped Procter & Gamble, and that company's gone bankrupt. Not Procter & Gamble, but OBJ has gone bankrupt. So even though they name dropped the company, there was nothing. They got nothing out of it. In fact, they took all the risk. Procter & Gamble's not taking any risk going to a deal with a very small Australian company. If it's successful, great. But if it's not, meh, who cares? They didn't waste any money. But these sort of companies, doesn't mean anything is going to come out of this relationship. But it could. By the way, let's have a look at the chart for Control Bionics. Volume's good. A little bit of selling during the day, which is understandable. Share price got up to the levels this company saw back in August last year. So a little bit of a few shareholders had bought at high prices, but a really big volume coming through. And I think that's just because of the name. And what else? Packaging got rid of their CEO. Okay, I think that's it. So there were a few announcements. So CBA, Coronado, Bendigo Bank, Control Bionics would have been the top 5. Probably Life 360 as well. I'm just going to have a quick look at Vection Technologies. because the share price of this one has been all over the place as well. Yeah, and okay. Okay, so we'll just have a quick look at the top gainers. Vectus Biosystems, turnover wasn't that much. I'm going to have a quick look to see if they did release anything. Vectus Biosystems, response to ASX query letter. Okay, and what else do we have here? Control Bionics, we already looked at that. Zuno Group did some sort of deal the other day with South Africa company, I think, if I remember correctly. Don't know why I remember this. Exclusive South African packaging agreement with Impact, and the share price has gone a little bit bonkers since then. Yeah, share price up 37%, 0, 21%, and 25%. But I have no interest in Zuno. Sort of a market darling during COVID-19 because of their product. The chart doesn't look that bad, so something is going on here. But this could be just silliness when it comes to the market. Because if you have a look at their most recent Appendix 4C, there's nothing happening with this company just yet. And that's about it. There's Mayfield Group. Loomis Diagnostics Co. Loomis. Best performance by market cap, Light and Wonder. Did they release anything? They released results the other day, and the results were pretty good. Yeah, so they released results on the 6th, and the market liked it. Share price up. Yeah, the share price has gone on a really good rally recently. So this is actually a company I do own. It's in my super, so I'm not trading this one. And yeah, the chart doesn't look that good, but a nice little rally. But this could be, could give those who bought at high prices a chance to sell out, which leads to a bit of resistance. And what else? Liontown, another good rally for that one. Aero, Star Pharma, go Star Pharma. So two of my more highly speculative companies, Loomis Diagnostics, Star Pharma, both up a fair bit yesterday. Okay, and the top losers, bunch of losers. Coronado, no surprise. European Lithium, down 15%. Let's see if they release anything. Nope. So we can move on. Nothing else here I want to talk about. By market cap, well, we've got CBA, 9360, Bendigo Bank, and Coronado, and Vista Group, low turnover. So nothing I haven't already talked about. Okay, so that's it for this belated daily rundown for the 11th of November. So CBA, interesting movement there. Keeping a close eye on that one. And Coronado. So that is a sell for me. I did sell it on my drive. Yeah, on my drive north. I actually sold that. Not as I was driving. I actually did stop and had a look. Anyway, so that's it for today. And not sure when today's ASX Daily Rundown video is going to be released. It all depends on power outages, that sort of thing. But hopefully not too late.